What's going on, Blue Chips? How we doing this morning, Thursday, April 23rd? There's no better time to be happy than right now. I wonder if they predicted what was happening at this point in time. Let's get to it. Little Astrodamus. Is that how you say Astrodamus? Astrodamus. That sounds right. A little bit of that going on there. April 23rd, 2020. How are we all doing this morning? Vincenzo, nice to see you. Let a play, right? SPY is actually looking like it might give us some action today. Taking a look at it up near its highs from yesterday in the pre-market after it took a pretty big dip there at the close yesterday. So gapping back up. Hopefully we'll get some good action here this morning. MPAH, sorry, is a low floater. It is CPAH, sorry. I saw somebody mistype it. But yeah, this is a lower float. I want to say CPAH. Check the float here. We are seeing nothing. So that usually means it's a pretty small float, which means it's probably already traded its volume. So we get a little float rotation going, usually means higher. We shall see. Thomas, what's up, marketing? What's going on? Alex, how you doing? Uh-oh. Hold on. Check the float here. Oh, crap. Stupid microphone. Test. See if this sounds right. I'm still drunk. This is what has happened to me in the past with some of the videos that I uploaded, because I'll record it, the whole thing, and I don't want to sit here and re-record it, so I just kind of deal with it. Let's see if this fixed it. Man, the delay on YouTube has been horrible. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. So yeah, not exactly sure why it does that. I think the kids pull on the the charging part of the microphone so often that I feel like it kind of messes with it. Puts the bass on the mic. I am more manly. You will obey to me. Yeah, you caught me. So yeah, CPAH here is definitely something that's looking like it probably is already through float rotation. I'm not even going to bother looking up the float. Obviously, it's pretty low. We will see what else pops up off the scanner, see if anybody has mentioned anything. Let's see, GDT mentioned, ENZ. We have no shares there. LVS actually looks like a pretty good one. Let's mark really not that many key levels here. First one I really see is up there towards 50. I mean, there is one kind of sitting here at 47-ish. So we'll see. We'll see what this one does. We'll actually put that one on our bottom chart here, and we'll use the top one for the scanners. Got about 50 seconds here. There's the squeak we know and love. I do have a little bit more of a higher pitched voice. Wait, where did the wrench come from? Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember at some point I made GDT a moderator, and he just hasn't talked since then. So yeah. There you go. Don't mess with GDT. He can put you in timeout. Oh, Vincenzo, now I'm going to put you in timeout. All right, here comes the bell. 2 seconds. Good luck, everybody. Stay green. Let's make it a good Thursday. See if we can actually get some decent moves here this morning. So right out the gate here, LVS actually making a little pop here. Some craziness here on the level 2 per usual as of late. Obviously that move was way too fast to catch it. That thing jumped up to 46.50 almost instantly, came right back down to 46. And now it's all the way down to 45. Well, if you had some orders in there, you might have been doing all right. Here we go, WYNN. This thing's popping too. Dang. Did you see that? We were on the ass there at high of day. Didn't get it. I actually hit it at 78.40, I thought. And then it popped up. Man, look at that. We would have already been filled. Man, all right. That one's an interesting one. So a little frustrating we missed that. We literally would have top ticked it, but we didn't get our fill. Let's move on. Obviously, we're not interested in it right now. It already pulled back over $1.50. Man, IMMU, that daily looks crazy. Brian got WYNN. What a crapper, man. How is he that? I mean, he probably smashed the bid, but there was like a 60-cent spread. I wasn't really trying to hit the bid there. There's really nothing. I wonder why this gapped up like this. It's kind of fishy looking. I think I'm going to leave that one alone, because I might try to fill the gap. There's absolutely nothing else popping off right now, though. ZM, we don't have any shares, though. Morning, Mr. Gifford. No range here on AUY. GMLP. It's coming up off the bottom. ATRA. Man. What was the one that we were looking at there? IMMU. Just curious. Watch it. There's really nothing else to watch here. Excuse me. Oh, they took our snap shorts away? Sure did. I mean, it wouldn't matter for me, but Devin was mentioning it in the Discord. NCMI. Range isn't too great there. ATRA. Volume isn't that great here on ATRA. I don't know what's going on with the data lately. I mean, my bid's like constantly above the ask, which obviously doesn't make any sense. I have ATRA up on my bottom chart. We'll leave it there for now. See if it wants to move up there towards 950. All right, in my head, ENZ, we cannot play. Stop pulling it up. ENZ is a no play. Stop pulling it up. Of course, as I say that, Brian mentions it on the scanner, which means he's in. But we do not have any shares, so we cannot play. And I am still waiting to hear back from Interactive Brokers. I'm getting a little frustrated with them. I just messaged them on Tuesday, or I live chatted them, and they said they're in such high volume right now because a lot of people are basically furloughed, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why a broker right now would be having to lay people off or furlough them, because I mean, their business hasn't stopped. So I just alerted APA to ISW. I don't have any shares there. A little frustrating. It's another one that we probably would have been interested in. Especially if it makes a little bit of a move up here towards 1050. LABU. I thought I saw this one on the scanner a little earlier. I didn't pull it up. This is kind of interesting. 39. I do like this one. It looks good. Love to see the pop up towards 40 though. $82 is the high. Try this on the ask. Of course, it's probably going to go right to high a day now. But it puts us over 40, which I'm fine with. So it'd have to make a pretty decent move through where it's struggling here to stop us out. And if it does, I might look to actually re-enter if it wants to continue. Yeah, I should have just waited. A little impatient there, but again, I'm not upset with the trade. Pretty good extension here regardless. We obviously would need this thing to come back down through the 50 area. Pretty hard because we're all the way down to 32. Did LYV end up doing something? ATRA isn't doing anything. Oh yeah, LYV is making a little bit of a move here. So if we can get this pullback on LABU, I feel like we would get a pretty good 50 flush if it can get down there and test it. Looking at LYV on the other chart here, let me take a look at AR real quick. Nothing there. This thing is just battling. LABU is battling up here at 70 and 80. So not looking good here on LABU. Looks like it wanted to consolidate and go a little bit higher. Unfortunately, if it pops through 40, it might give us a quick stop out, and then it could be one of them little fake outs, but unfortunately where we got in, that's just how it's going to work out. Here we go, testing 40. Well, it didn't pop through like I thought it was going to. That could be a good sign. LYV is killing it here. We're going to start LYV. We got in LYV 38.10. Hopefully we can get a pullback here on LABU. Dang, big pullback there on LYV right away. Where our 38.10 is actually our take profit order. We got in at 38.70. We almost were on the bid there for a second. LABU, let me just go full screen here, even though you're not going to be able to see the chart. Crappers. I need to fix that. I'll just leave it up here for now. Coming down LYV 38.36 here. Popped right back up, almost a high a day. LABU though making a pullback here, and then a big cover, pulling it right back up, using that support around 63, 64. So it's got to get through that. LYV also pulling back up here. So key level here on LABU 39.60 area, right above it. We need to get through that. LYV, we almost got our fill a couple times on the bid, but there was really no prints down there. Let's try it again. 38 on the bid there. We're sitting at 10. This LABU just keeps getting bought up around that 60 area, so that's the key area there. Let's pull up LYV because I feel like we might get a flush here on LYV. We'll go right back to LABU if we do. We're seeing a quick little flush here on LYV. Let me just change this so it doesn't look like it's something else here. LABU not looking good. It's back over 40. It's trying to go high a day here. It got stuffed again for now. Just need LYV to give us this one more little push down. It's trying 25. 14. Saw 14 there. Almost. Just need that one more little push. $20. 10. We're on the bid here. Come on. Come on. 19. Oh, look at that. 1 now. Are you kidding me? On the bid again. Look at the spread, though. That's so frustrating. I hate when this happens. All right, we got the fill there. Let's go back to LABU. This one's going high a day. Probably going to stop us out. It's looking very bullish at the moment. Keeps getting rejected here at 40, so I'm assuming now if it does get back through, we're most likely going to get stopped out. But you never know. If we can get another fake out, people might start realizing, hey, we're not going to 40, guys. We're not going through. And maybe we can get that nice little pullback that we're looking for. IMGN kind of grinding its way up here. I'd like to see a big move out of it. Here we go with the LABU. Hopefully we can get a nice little pullback here. If we can get down to that 60 area and retest it, we could get a nice little flush. 63, 64 area is what was holding before. We just need to get that big dump out and big dump off through it. We might go right down to that 39.50 area. The only problem is now we're kind of in a crap spot because VWAP climbed its way back up, so now we're not really looking that good. This could be one where we just look to eventually try to get out break even here. 39.72 is where our entry was. We'll see what it does here if we get down to 50. There we go. See if we can pop through. It's trying 55. There we go. We'll give this a sec to see what it wants to do here. We're actually, I don't really have a plan for this type of trade. I know we said we'd use pivot points at this point, so maybe that's what we'll do. So we'll just leave the stop where it's at currently. So I do have a plan, but that was a pretty big move down, so it's going to suck because our pivot is literally still at high of day. And our take profit is pretty far down there, especially through VWAP, but we've seen it before, right? Nothing else really happening at the moment anyway. We just need to get that bust back down through 50. Of course, it's going to give us the pop up first. Some people covering there. I was really hoping that 70 or 63, 64 area would kind of hold it down where it was that previous support. but we'll see. A lot of times too, you get that big move down. A lot of people don't sell on the spike, so when it pops back up, they look to sell there. So we'll see what happens here. Hopefully we can get that move back down towards 50. If we do, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. We'll see what happens. SWAT in level 2. Where do you see SWAT? I don't see anything that says SWAT. Come on, give us that breakdown here, LABU. Not really liking it at this point, to be completely honest. I don't like how it's kind of forming. It bounced and it's forming the higher low here. All right. We're going to take this off as a break-even trade. This feels very bullish at the moment. The way that it kind of just bounced right off VWAP and now it's making the higher low. It found its support up here. We'll take the, what did that ended up being, like a 7-cent loss there. Definitely not part of my plan to do what I did there, but we could also say that we were just looking, of course. See, I let my emotions into it, and this is what happens. But the way that it felt, I've seen this a bunch of times before, right? Very bullish. It struggles to pull back. You finally get a big pullback, but it gets bought right back up, and the odds are this thing will continue higher. So really, it was just kind of picking and choosing where to get an exit there. So I'm not going to be too upset with myself. Of course, it'll fail and probably fade all the way down to 38 the rest of the day. So, oh, that's just my order. You got to be kidding me. Let my emotions get into this, and now I ended up losing some money there. And I'm going to end up losing full amount because I ended up losing just a little bit because I took a, oh man, guys. This is why you don't let your emotions in. Son of a. What was our order at? 30, 32? Yeah, it was at 32. So we wouldn't have got there yet, but yep, accept the risk, Thomas. I get it. I messed that one up. This one was on me. Even if it still goes up against me, I'm still going to be mad at myself now because I'm realizing what I did wrong, which it is. We still wouldn't have got our fill. We would have been down, and to be honest, we would have gotten the same fill probably because we would have moved it down to break even since we were that close, 44. We were within 12 cents. So would have been a little frustrating. We still would have got stopped out anyway. I don't know if I would have got 7 cents slippage, but little frustrated. Even if we were playing pivots, we would have a pivot right. Oh, actually, we wouldn't have a pivot yet because this was all in the down move. So technically, that pivot would have been broke anyway. So no matter how we would have done this, we would have been stopped out in the same general area, unless we were willing to just let the trade play out. But the way that it bounced, I've seen this pattern a million times. Go back to the upside, and of course this one time it's going to go back down and hit where we would have gotten take profit just to prove me wrong. But I've seen it so many times where you get that bounce and on such a bullish stock where it just starts to go back up. So we'll see what it does overall, but I'm still looking at other trades here. Pretty much nailed LYV though. Here it goes. It's really fighting here to go back up now, so I got a feeling it's going to go down there and hit where our take profit was at 32. But again, if we were playing this according to plan, the way that this played out, we would have already been stopped out in the same spot. So we would be equally as frustrated, just in a different way. I would have rather been frustrated following my plan though, versus an emotional decision, right? 'Cause I made this decision based off of me reading the chart, which is not how this system is supposed to work. Basically, me feeling an exit, not letting the chart tell me what to do. Yeah, Thomas is right. Emotions definitely got me there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And here we go. We were sitting at 32. See if we get there. 36. I mean, I don't see how we don't. 33. 32 was on the bid there. Obviously, 31. So we would obviously need to see at least 32 on the ask before we jump to conclusions, because we all know how that works. So technically, we might not have gotten any fill yet. What needs to go low a day? LYV. That's twice now with LYV that I've traded it, even after it got me in the past. This time I remembered it because I remember talking about it last time. Oh, it needs to go I got you with LABU. But yeah, if we take a look at LYV, pretty much top tick this one, and the cover was right on point, right? Looking for about 50% of that move back. But yeah, LABU, that's kind of a sucky one. But who knows if we would have got fill there, right? It actually says the low here was 34, so technically we wouldn't have got any fill. So the bid dropped down, but no orders went through. So our top stop loss definitely would be at break even now. So 72. NUGT, the heck's going on here? They did some kind of a split. Or reverse split. Probably like they were at 12. So what's that? 12 to 60? Can they just like reset at 60? It's like a video game. They just reset it whenever they want. 12 divided by 60. Or 60 divided by 12, sorry. So it was a 5-to-1 split. Reverse split on Nugget. LYV got you? How did it get you? You started it early? So right there, 74. 72 would have been our stop. Again, I don't know if we would have got fill there on the ask, but it did get up to 74. So to be completely honest with you guys, these are the ones that I'm struggling with. My plan right now is to play the pivots, where if I get into a trade like LABU here, just giving you guys a little fast forward into my recap video today. But I'm really curious, when it goes up against me like that and we're basically at our stop and it finally starts coming back down towards us, but it still looks like it's overall bullish. You know, am I looking to just break even on that trade at that point, right? Realize that we got in early and not be greedy about it, look to get break even? Or do we just play the pivots, and wherever the pivots take us out, it takes us out? Because this thing came down from high day, right? So our pivot is still at 40. But then we come back up here to 39.77, come all the way back down to 39.44. So technically, our pivot would have been 39.78, right? Or 39.77 is a pivot, so we just put it right above that. So 39.79, where we got stopped out, is pretty realistic, right? If we were playing the pivots. And part of me, as well as reading the chart, and of course it's coming back down now, but as reading the chart, would have felt the same way, right? Because off of this candle, it started coming back up. It made a higher low, and like right after we got out is when it finished the rest of this candle. So it was a little frustrating because technically that pivot point would have got broke. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it made this move after we got out, right? So technically this wouldn't have been a pivot, 39.77. The top of this candle, 39.83, is what the pivot would have been. Right, so we messed this up big time. And then technically, we'd still be in it if we didn't get any fill, right? 39.54. The new pivot, though, would be 39.77 because it came up and now it came all the way back down to the lows. So now our new pivot would be 39.77, still looking for that 39.32 take profit. So yeah, we definitely messed this one up. We let our emotions make this exit. So I'm gonna own it, and I'm gonna write it down. Obviously, didn't follow the plan. And that's that. We realized, hey, if we would have, our plan of following the pivots right now looks like it would have worked, but obviously it wouldn't have worked just yet. I'm actually curious though, because do I switch mid trade, by the way, as well? Like we got within 2 cents of our take profit, but the pivot was still above our entry. But if we would have lowered our stop to our entry, right, based off of the normal rule from when we make the entry, we would have got stopped out on this candle at 72. But we'd still be in the trade if we were using the pivots. So it's always if this, if that, but I need to figure out what's best for the strat. Is it best to follow the pivots once we start the pivots? Or if we get that close to take profit, should I always just go to break even on the trade? So I think pivots, honestly, I think once you start the pivots, you kind of have to live and die by the pivots. Because until the pivots are proven wrong, the trade's usually working in your favor, right? Basically getting the bouncy ball here, making lower highs each time. And the break even, I think, will stick to where if we get in and it drops right away to 2 cents within our take profit, then we just drop it to our break even point. I think that is the best. Okay, so we got that figured out. LYV is actually popping back up here. You only get the first big red candle on a bullish stock, I think. You hit it on the second red. I find to disagree with that. I mean, your pivots are going to be the same on any chart. And me and David were actually talking about pivots yesterday. And look, if we would have followed the pivots, it's looking like we would have got our fill coming up here soon because this looks really heavy. Right, we were sitting at 32. Still no prints at 32. We got 34 and then 35 here. Does keep getting bought up here to try to get right back above VWAP. But whether you're on the 1 minute, I mean, the pivots are all the same. I mean, you're still going to have the same price points. So, I mean, 2 minute, 5 minute, I mean, all the pivots are all going to be the same. But the way that I'm playing the pivots, you can't really do it on the 5, 15 and whatnot, because how I'm determining a pivot is price goes up, and if it comes back down to the lows of where it formed that base, that high now becomes a pivot, right? So right here, as you can see, it triple tops at 40, comes down, pops back up. Technically, this didn't come back down yet. It comes up here to 83, comes down and retests on this candle. It was actually on the same candle, but retests these lows. So now your new pivot is 39.83. So it comes back up, tests the 83 again, doesn't get through, comes back down, goes through, comes back up to 77. On this candle, comes back down, retests these lows. So now the new pivot point is 77. So, and you just basically keep doing that. What the heck kind of gap up was that? So right now, 77 is still the pivot, because you come back up and you never really, I mean, I guess you could argue that it's 68 now because it did come back down, but it never went through. So to me, it would technically still be at 77. You really want it to go through, but if it bounces off that previous support, then technically you still have the same pivot. But if, say this would have went through, say this would have went down to, say, 20 and got bought back up, all the way back up to 68, then it comes back down here and retests that 20 area. This is now your new pivot, 39.68. So as of right now, the way this chart's showing, my most recent pivot would be at 77. And we almost got back there, but not quite. Alex, yes and no. It is support and resistance levels, but the only reason it is becoming a resistance level is because it's the high of that current move. So like right now, it just went through 78. So technically this pivot has been broken, and this is where you would exit. So even if we followed the pivots all the way through all of this, we still would have gotten the same exit. No matter how we would have traded it. I'm not trying to make myself feel better, but we never got our fill here at 32. Let's check out SAVA here off the scanner real quick. No shares. But as you can see, usually when that pivot area breaks, it usually is a sign that you're going to start going in the opposite direction. Well, Christian, I'm not adding another strategy on top of it. I'm just looking for a way to exit the trade if my original take profit area doesn't get hit in the time period that I'm looking for. And it is part of the strategy focusing on entry. But if my entry is a little bit early, we're obviously not all going to get perfect entries. But if it basically comes up and tries to stop me out, but I don't get stopped out, we obviously got in too early. So it's almost a little bit greedy to expect that huge pullback, right? Because we jumped in a little bit too early. So that's what I'm trying to come up with is a system to figure out what to do after that happens. And I think playing the pivot points is the correct move. So and that was the original idea as well. So yeah, exactly. That's what I'm just gonna keep it simple. I was overthinking it myself, and the exit that I took was me. It was emotional. It had nothing to do with the system. It was not pivots. It wasn't based on going back to break even because we were close to take profit. It was just me getting out of the trade because I won on LYV and I didn't want to give that back. That's all it was. It was my emotions got into it. I didn't want to give it back. So this was a mistake by me, and that's why I'm sitting here talking through it to try to figure out how to not let that happen again. I need to have a system in place so that 100% of the time I'm doing the exact same thing. I can't be just jumping out of a trade just because I feel like it. I mean, you can if there's something else going on outside of trading, but as far as this goes, there was no reason to get out where I did. I got out because I didn't want to give back what I just made on LYV. It was that simple. It was that is the main answer here, if you really want to break it down. Well, the main focus has always been on entries, right? I wouldn't have converted from a 1-1-2 strategy with 3 entries, the option to scale in, to a 1 entry strategy if I didn't feel like I was concentrating on the best entry possible, right? That wouldn't make any sense. CODX. Dang, nice move by CODX. No shares there, though. With my low floaters, if you have one doubt, you're out. No 60 seconds to guess. Well, that's why I don't play low floaters. I'll leave those to you, the expert. So as you can see, it did try a little bit of a fake out after it broke that pivot area, but it is continuing higher now. What's wrong? What's wrong? Did he get under the covers?
What's wrong?
I don't know. Camden or Braden went into his covers and he flipped out.
Goldfish?
Hold on one sec. I'm gonna lose my alert sounds for a second here. Alrighty. Wow, we're actually up there around 25 viewers again. We're gonna do this giveaway at some point.
No. Where's your water? Drink your water.
He only had one. I'm just saying. Here we go. I'm not disagreeing there. If this thing goes through 40, it's going to get a little bit of a squeeze, which is actually why I'm still watching it. I'd be interested to play it again if it wants to squeeze up through 40, 50. But we're looking for another move like this one, right? We're looking for something big. We're not looking for it just to grind through. And this could be a little bit of a fake out, right? Looking for liquidity. There we go. There's the squeeze that we were looking for. We really wanted a big push, though.
Why did you do that?
I think he was trying to get up on the couch and couldn't. I think. I caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Brayden.
Just relax, bud. He just wants... Hey, he didn't break it.
Wasn't even up.
He wants to sit up there and watch the movie with you. We'll fix it afterwards. Look, he's using your cover just like you are. He wants to do what you're doing, Bray. You're his big brother. He looks up to you.
Hey. It's fine. Watch the movie.
Just watch it. I'll get him another blanket.
Your boys are in grave danger, but I can help. Okay, hey, you're not going anywhere.
Camden.
Think
fast. Hey, relax. These are his. You're okay. You're okay. You got all your drinks. Look, well, you fix the tent. Look, that's fixed. Okay. There you go. You just want like one? That's it. You just want one? What? Oh, now you want more? I love how you understand me. Careful with your goldfish, you're gonna knock him over again. Alrighty. Yeah, it is. Children sure are a joy. They test your patience. That's for sure. So LABU is not giving us the move that we wanted here through 40. It's kind of just grinding along, so we're gonna move on. Let's check out CDXC here. Let's had some volume come in. See if we can get a little bit of a push. It's in a weird spot on the daily. There's really nothing. No kind of resistance anywhere to be found here. And the first possible one is right here at 550. And everything, it's kind of, if you go all the way back to 2008, it's kind of cool looking at this daily. It's just in a range, in a very interesting range, like from 650 down to 250, maybe even like 2. And it's been trading in this range for 12 years. It's crazy. Really not too much going on. It's kind of slowed down. Probably gonna end up having to cut out some of this. Probably gonna get demonetized because of the movie that's on in the background. 12-year same price sounds like a top-notch management team. I mean, look at it, CDXC, and go to the daily. Here, I'll do it here since it's not really moving that fast. I mean, it's not the same price, but I mean, if we scroll, I mean, it was actually way up here. I don't know what happened from IPO, but if you scroll in right here, so from like February, or we'll even say, what is this? October of 2008, all the way to now. I mean, just look at this. I mean, you're in this range, $1.33 to $6.50. It's pretty crazy. It's just in a range for that long. It's not like, I mean, obviously peaks and valleys, all that good stuff, but it's interesting. I mean, look at all the sideways action. I mean, if you really want to break it down, right here, like 240 to about 5, or even maybe a little, yeah, like right around 5. That's just from 2014 forward. I mean, every once in a while you get that push through, but that's just basically where this thing trades. Pretty crazy. What is CDXC? Just curious what company it is. Chromadex Corp sounds like a biotech. If you guys are here, 24 of you, as I can see now, don't forget to hit that like button. Maybe we can press forward for the next 10 minutes and get to that 35 viewers. And we also need those 20 likes anyway to do the giveaway. I'm eager to do the giveaway. I want to get past that one. So then we'll set the next milestone at 40, and then we'll have to try to hit 40. Vincenzo doesn't like going in chat. Yeah, the Discord, to be completely honest with you guys, I realized it was taking up a lot of my time, just answering all the questions from everybody coming in at once. So as I've said before, if you want to go out of your way to private message me and I can kind of respond as I get to it, I have no problem. But having the general hangout, it was more, the idea behind it was to have just a community of traders come in and kind of talk amongst themselves. It wasn't really for me to just sit there and moderate and answer questions all day. So I have no problems answering the questions. You guys know that. But I almost felt obligated to try to keep up with it because, if you don't keep up with the Discord and somebody just starts having a normal conversation in between questions, you miss questions, right? So that's why I started saying if you really want to ask a question, just private message me on there. It'd be a lot easier. But I do still want you guys to come into the Discord and talk amongst yourselves because that's how you learn. You learn from each other. So the more that you can talk, the more people that are in there, the better off you guys will become. I mean, I always say when you ask a question, I hope that I don't know the answer because that means I can go learn something, right? That's the whole premise behind communicating with other people that are alike, learning other people's strategies, looking at other people's charts, et cetera, will help you learn and become a better trader yourself. So that was the whole point of starting the Discord. It wasn't necessarily just to be where new traders come in and ask me questions that they could just go to Google and get the answer, right? Those kind of bug me. If you aren't able to go Google and look for an answer to a question before you ask somebody else, it kind of shows me that you don't want this, right? It shows me that you don't want it as bad as you think you do. You kind of fall into that category of wanting things to be handed to you. And I'm not here to cater to those people. I'm here to cater to the 10%, the people that really want to put in the hard work and actually succeed at this. So hopefully that kind of answers where we were headed with the Discord and why the Discord general hangout channel kind of died off a little bit. So I do want you guys to still be in there, and I try to be in there as much as possible, but I did realize it was taking too much away from my time personally. So the Kid Poker movie, GDT I believe has a Discord channel, but I don't think he actually uses it. I think I actually left it because he was pretty inactive in it. I think he just has a bot that shows his Twitter posts and that was it. And Vincendo's just being a jerk. He likes me better, I know it. You like that, Brian? OAS is up 80% today. I didn't buy yet. I missed out watching. Should I buy now? And right off the bat, Reese, you know I can't answer that. And if you don't, I'm not going. I want you to know that I can't answer that. I also don't play penny stocks. This thing looks super extended right now. So if this were me, I would not be buying right now. Because basically you'd be looking to buy a breakout when it's already super extended. If, in my general opinion, this thing's going to pull back. And if I had to guess an area, like if you want me to try to, be that guy, I would say you're probably going to get down here around 55 cents. If I were to buy this, if I really thought this was just going to continue, I would look to buy it down here around 55 cents. But I would definitely not be buying anywhere where it's at currently. If this wanted to go to $1 straight from here, so be it. But the probabilities of that happening are so low that I'm not willing to, risk that, right? If you're the casino and every once in a while you just see something pop up and you're like, I could take this bet, but it would only give me 20% chance to win versus the normal 65-70% that I usually have. Would you take it? No. Why? Why would you take something such a low percentage, right? It wouldn't make any sense at all. So pretty excited. Brian just mentioned there's going to be a new beta for the scanner. I think we're going to get to test it out. I'll have to see what's new, see if there's anything good. I asked him what's new, but Brian, with his typical answers, he just said lots and lots and lots. So I guess we'll have to find out for ourselves. I'm excited, though. SNBR. What is that thing doing? Ian Lightfoot. I heard that. SMBR actually making a decent move here. Yeah, OAS, I mean, look at this thing. It's just super extended. It's getting pumped. Look at all the volume. These things get so much volume. It's crazy. So now I would still be like, again, if I was still looking to go long here for something that wasn't a scalp, I'd still be looking down here towards that 54, 55 cent area. But look for it to try to bounce around the 60 cent area now, right? It's gonna come back down and retest this area, right? The previous resistance, it almost always does. But the problem is, if you're only looking for scalps, that could be a good area. If you're looking for like a longer hold, I'd still be looking for this 55 cent area because this thing is just too far extended. He's saying he can't get up because he's being where'd the camera go? I can do the beta review. I don't know, Brian. Is that okay? Can I tell him what's up with the beta? Maybe I can do it in my recap because he said it's not going to be done for about another hour. So I'm obviously not going to be here for another hour. Well, and that's the thing. And Vincenzo, you make such a good you bring up a good point. A lot of people that don't play poker, but Daniel Negreanu is Kid Poker, and here's the 60 retest that I was talking about. So, Kid Poker, Daniel Negreanu, whatever you want to call him, dude is one of the best poker players alive. But like Vincenzo just said, he blew up 10 times. So he had a bankroll of whatever it was, and he lost it 10 separate times. But in those 10 times, you're learning, right? I technically blew up an account. It didn't go to zero, but it basically was to the point where I felt like I blew up and I had to add money to continue. So you get to this point where just because you blew up doesn't mean you failed, right? It just means that you didn't learn what you needed to learn to not fail just yet. So each time, Daniel Negreanu, every time he blew up, he learned something. So if he lost on a specific hand, but at the same time he learned that, he learned a live tell that in the future would make him a lot of money, which he was doing. Dang, look at LYV, guys. What's going on here? Hold on one sec. I might be taking a trade here. We're going to try this. I don't like that it's right below that 40-50 area, but I do like that we're this extended right at the $40 area. Basically, we're looking for this to come back down through 40. Maybe retest that 50 area. Well, what I was saying is that with every time you blow up, you learn something, right? You're gonna, ooh. This is what I was afraid of because now we're on the south side of 50 here. So if it wants to go up there, it might try to touch 50. Crappers. We're going to get faked out here. We're going to get faked out. I feel it. Here it comes. We're going to get faked out. We're going to get faked out so hard. We're going to get faked out so hard. Should I have used a bigger stop there? Hold on, bub. I hit the bid there. Did that really not give it to me? Maybe it might have worked out in our favor here. right, we're gonna try this again. As you can see, we scaled up there a little bit. We had to use the $1.50 button because it went up 50 cents from where we got in the original entry. Pause it? Okay. So now we're looking for 39.96 by 41.16. Camden, no. Hold on, bud.
What is it?
So 39.96. Let's see if we can do this.
What's the thing that you want? What do you want?
Not trailing. Range. So what I did there is I'm going to see if I can scale out of this a little bit. See if we can keep 10 of our shares here through 40 if we get there.
Again? Can we put it on?
But we're still going to stop out the full amount if we get the 41.16. I just put the order there just so that we know where we're at. If we have to hit the cover 100%, we will. Basically, we're looking for this to dump through 40, give us our fill, and then see if we can continue down.
Can I fix it?
So we'll take out the majority of our shares here.
Okay, let's take it in.
Let's get that 40 test. Come on, guys. Feel a little bit better is if we can just get this first fill, and then we'll look to see if we can continue down some. Just need that flush through, and I feel like we'll definitely get the fill here. If we get through 40, I can't see us not getting the fill at 39.96. There we go. We're on the bid. On the bid. On the bid. There we go. Okay, so we got that fill. So now we got 10 shares left. We're going to put those at break even, and we're going to see what happens. So our average is at 40.56. So we'll put it there for the time being. And we'll try to pivot this down and see what happens. Once we know how it works. Gotcha, Brian. This thing's so extended, though. We're going to try to scale out, see if we can't get this thing to continue down. Yeah, Vincenzo, and I think that's where he ended up after his little super user scandal. So, yeah, with my system, as Maddie, I appreciate that, Maddie, thank you. You see, I was clearly early, right? We realized that we were early, but this thing was so extended, I wasn't going to not try to get back in. So it's just a matter of just accepting the loss right away and realizing that you were wrong, right? You were wrong to start the first time, and you just look for a better entry the second time. And that's what we got. And now, in a case like that, it's hard not to try to scale out, because if I was early on the first one and we feel that we're super extended even still, I'm pretty excited to try to scale out of this one because we're just that far extended. I mean, I would like to see this try to come down and test previous resistance down here around 39. So I'll probably be pretty happy with just like 39.50, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So technically, if we scroll in, we came down to 39.89 and we popped back up here to 40.09 basically. Now, if we were to come back down through 39.89, which it tried to do, this could be a pivot, right? But it needs to go through, right? So we need this to go through, which it did by a penny, but you know what I mean. We need to bust back down through, and then this will be our new pivot point. And then we can lower our stop to here. So 40.09 would be our stop. But we need this to go back down through 88 and start making a move down. And that'll kind of give you the idea, because that's what I'm going to use here as pivots to get ourselves out. So here we go, trying to test that area. It's fighting here. It's deciding, do we want to try to go higher through 40 or should we pull back? So we got through 87 there on the bid and then popped right back. Look at that. Crazy pop right back through. Somebody was looking for liquidity there to cover a position. So anytime you see those big pops, it kind of sucks because that usually means there was somebody in there holding this thing down, trying to get to that liquidity area or supply zone, whatever you want to call it. And if that person's gone now, right, obviously there's less resistance to go higher. But the chart still doesn't lie. I mean, we're still pretty extended. VWAP's all the way down here, 38.78. Previous resistance, 38.86. See, 38, technically 30, yeah, 38.86. You could almost argue that there's some resistance here that could be used as support at 39.50. That's why I had said we'd be happy if we could get that push down there. But, I mean, if this thing's super strong and it wants to continue, then so be it. We'll have to stop out at our break even here, which is basically near high of day. We got in at 40.56. High of day was at 40.64.5. We shall see. So technically, in my eyes, I wouldn't really have a new pivot just yet. It's still forming one as we speak. And that's the beauty of the pivot system. You have to accept the risk. Because technically the pivot should be high of day, but when we get a take profit like that for most of our shares, my plan or my strategy is to put the rest at break even. So it will obviously stink if it does get back up to break even, but that's just part of the strategy of scaling out. Looking at PDD. Yeah, that thing looks pretty weak. What's your take in consideration filter when you use your scanner? You really don't need a filter. The only filter that I use is for the float. I just like to look at anything that's over 20 mil, just because it's a little bit easier to trade. So LYV, trying to move back up here. A little frustrating. Thought we felt so heavy a bunch of times there. Back up to 40. Our stop sitting right north of the $0.50 here. So extended. It was so extended, it was hard not to do what we did here. So it looks like we're going to get stopped here. Technically, our bid is triggered, and there it is. So a little frustrating on the stop there, but oh well. Actually, really frustrating. I was really excited about that trade. I really thought that we were going to get a nice breakdown, but this thing is just strong. I was actually watching it again if it wanted to break through here, because now we have this resistance up here at high of day. And we're still pretty extended here. Pretty decent area of resistance up there at 42.50.
Brayden. The last time I'm asking you to pick these bears up, and if you don't pick them up, you lose your sticker. I don't see you. You're way away.
We're gonna get faked out here. Oh no, we didn't get the high. 59 was the high. We got 57 fill, which was actually, was that our stop? No, we got 1 cent slippage there. I think the market is killing it today. That's probably why some of these stocks are doing what they're doing. This actually looks fairly similar. This actually, the LYV looks stronger than the SPY. The SPY up right in this area actually pulled back, where LYV just decided to kind of consolidate and go higher. This actually looked like a nice descending triangle on LYV that failed. I guess it technically kind of failed right here on this candle.
What? I'm not looking. I keep looking because you keep saying stuff.
Yeah, it looks like we might have got faked out. I'm not going to blame my rules here or anything. I mean, I should have used high of day probably, but our entry was so good there, and that's just what, if we take profit at any point, I bring it to break even. Because what if our entry was still this initial one, right? I'm not going to let it go all the way back to high of day to stop us out for the rest of our shares. That wouldn't make any sense, right? Well, our charts might look similar GDT, but yours is probably much more green because mine, this first red candle and this first green candle are technically a entry and a stop out, and then a new entry, and then a take profit, and then obviously you stopped out I think at 40.20. I was playing my break even because I didn't get a pivot point in here that I liked, so a little frustrating that we ended up getting stopped out at break even there, but is what it is. It happens. We're still green on the day. A little unfortunate with how everything played out, though. Would have been nice to have the 1-1-2 strategy going here because that would have been a pretty nice winner. Here it goes. See if we can get high of day here. I'm actually, if it wants to run, I'd be inclined to take this again. I mean, it did down here, but not up here. Yeah. Single entry, single exit. Sometimes you're just going to be early. Kind of sucks. And people love this ADMA. It's like everybody's favorite thing. I'm almost done. So we get this pop through 41 here. This thing still has a lot of volume coming in.
I don't know what it is that you want, Brayden or Camden. What are you looking for? Are they all picked up? Doesn't look like all of them.
we go. See if we can get through 41 with a nice little pop here.
All the markers.
There we go through 41.
Markers, I think I might get it.
Really want this to push. There we go. So I'm not interested unless it really kind of gives us a nice big candle here. Be looking for like 4140, 4150 area.
Done.
This little grindy candle is not what I'm interested in. If you look at the hourly on this, if you look at the hourly chart, 4253 or the 4250 area, there's a nice little peak there for resistance. Reese, this is DOS on CMEG.
You color in a book, Camden. You color in a book. You don't write on anything else but the book.
Yeah, I haven't really even been looking at the daily.
Okay.
Just been looking at the hourly. Scroll in here on the daily. Got too many lines here now. Yeah, the 4250 area is the next one I see on the daily. But I mean, if it wants to grind up there, I'm not really interested. I want another one. I want some of these candles. See these big candles? That's what I'm looking for. Extension away from the 8. I mean, like, I don't use the 8, but since I put it on here just to see what you were saying, but you would want the extension away from it. It's no different than looking at the extension away from VWAP, right? Like right here, it's extended, but not really. But then you get these big candles, and now you're really extended. That's why I'm interested there. Get the pullback. We're looking for this to fade back over to hit VWAP and previous resistance, but obviously this was too strong to do that. So now it's coming back up. We're looking for that same type of move, right? Now we're just kind of grinding, holding this EMA, and we're looking for that extension away from it.
Because there was no lid, probably. Here, throw them away. Say it's all gone.
I have no idea what you're looking at. If you draw a trend from the last two highs, it should be around 45. I'm not drawing a trend. I'm not using trend lines. I'm literally using the 60-minute chart here. Right here, see this right here? I'm using that. That's the next resistance area. It hit it a bunch of different times. That same area. I gotta go get my car from the mechanic. It's a beautiful late model Toyota with cruise control and genuine cloth interior. Good chance. See you later, Vincenzo. Oh, crap. Reading that, I missed that move that quick. That was a quick move.
Yes, Brayden. Look, did you see this book? I don't even remember you getting this book. Look at all these stickers. Look at all these Paw Patrol stickers.
Where'd that book come from?
It was in the bottom of the thing. Camden went on a rampage to find all the markers.
Dang, just that quick. See how quick it happened? That's what I was looking for, that 50
See some of
test.
these stickers on?
I probably wouldn't have taken it anyway, though, if we're being real. I would have been looking for more of that 4150 pop, because, again, we're still not really extended.
Stickers to match the shadows. Let's see them on here.
I don't know why a high from 10 days ago that was lower than a previous high should have any relevance, but maybe that's just me. Exactly. To each his own. I was along the lines of probably saying the exact same thing. This one is hard, man.
Add this to your score.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to leave this one alone. It's just kind of grinding at this point. It is overextended. You're most likely going to get a nice pullback at some point, but I'm not really into playing the grinders. And we are starting to lose the volume here.
Camden, no. No.
And it sounds like the wife needs some help. So,
You don't
hey, look at that. The stream elements popped in right at the right time.
People
make sure to like and subscribe. Click the bell next to the subscribe button to turn on notifications to let you know when I go live and post new videos. I should probably learn that. That's actually pretty good. That was kind of a stock saying that came with it.
Everything all over the
But
floor.
all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go help with the kids, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Hopefully, you guys had a good day, and see you later. Peace.